Taylor says sex work is like any other sales job.
We are entrepreneurs. We are independent contractors, just like any other business.
She works at the Bunny Ranch, one of 28 legal brothels in America. Dennis Hoff is her boss.
You're a pimp. You're exploiting these women.
I'm not a pimp. I have a license. It's a pimp.
You're a licensed pimp.
500 women choose to rent out their bodies, and his right.
Your claim you're having fun?
Oh, yeah.
Being bought, sold.
Hey, you not gonna read that sex job?
Transaction happened. So are we doing that? No.
But wait a second,
Don't you feel demeaned?
Not at all.
the U.S. State Department called the act of selling sex for money inherently demeaning.
Sex is supposed to be spontaneous.
According to whom? Who made the sex laws?
Just for money.
Right, well, don't you model for money? It's the same thing.
Sex is different. Sex is more intimate.
But you're still showing your body or exploiting yourself.
I choose to do this. This is what I want to do.
That wasn't as dramatic as I hoped. So, legalization of prostitution. Why? It's the oldest profession in the book, or so people say. It's not really recorded. But we've had so many problems with prostitution. We've tried to outlaw it. It's impossible. There were so many laws placed, and it just gets thwarted every time. Now, I believe if prostitution was legalized, it would effectively lead the way for a safer work environment for prostitutes, limiting violence, rape, and preventing disease. Now, I'm going to read you a couple of excerpts from a few sources. This one from the Daily News, the New York Daily News. For HIV/AIDS prevention to succeed, the conditions of risk have to change. Now, what is going on here is basically to treat prostitution like a service industry, to have it regulated, monitored, supervised. Now, obviously, if you just legalize prostitution, this wouldn't help, because they will be out there in the streets still and be controlled by people like, you know, the pimps, the stereotypical kind of abusive sort of handler. But if you put into effect, or rather, it's going to be, because there will be a huge market after prostitution is legalized. Now, this is from the Daily News. She is the co-founder of the National Task Force on Prostitution. She's saying that sex work has changed with repeal of criminal laws, access to visas and work permits, freedom of movement and association, and occupational safety and health regulations. Now, a big part of the rise of STIs is due to this. It's because when you go into a place like in a room where there is no supervision, no one monitoring this, the guy can just slip off the condom, there's no security for them, they can get away with it. There is no one for the prostitutes to turn to. They can't go to the cops. They are on their own, essentially. In Australia, prostitution is legalized. Now, Australian sex workers have very low rates of STIs and HIV, and most enjoy better sexual health than the general community. Now, the eastern side of Australia is legalized, and brothels are also legalized. The western side of Australia is legalized only, but brothels are not allowed. But on the eastern side, they have very low rates of STIs and HIV. Why? Because it's all regulated. Because if a company puts into effect rules and regulations for the customers to follow, they have bouncers at the door. It's the same thing as a stripper or, you know, a pornographic actress. And this is from procon.org. Another reason why it should be legalized is freedom of choice. Now, just like strippers and pornographic actresses, it is also essentially the same as pornography. Now, the only thing protecting pornography from prostitution is the First Amendment. And it has even been argued that there is a certain type of pornography called gonzo porn. I'm sorry to get a little explicit here, but when the man behind the camera, who is also engaging in the sexual act, it becomes prostitution. So, when there is no just voyeur to watch the porn, then it becomes legal. So, what this person is saying, Julie Marlowe, she's an author and escort, she said, to suggest that prostitutes who do not see themselves as victims just don't know any better is patronizing and contradicts the very essence of feminism, the freedom to make one's own choices. And this is from the New York Times. Again, in Australia, a study conducted in Queensland showed a 149% increase in the rate of rape when legal brothels were closed in 1959, while other offenses against the person by males increased only 49%. So again, without supervision, without regulation, these prostitutes are at risk. There is no doubt that deadly violence against sex workers is a recurring social pattern, nor is there any doubt that serial killers know sex workers are afraid to seek protection from police. So again, without regulation, without supervision, this will continue. But if you legalize it, then companies will pick up on this new market and implement regulations. And this is from CP Researchers Journal. In conclusion, while a perfect system is difficult to achieve, legalizing prostitution will be a huge step in creating a safe work environment for these workers. Criminalizing it empowers the pimps and traffickers to respond to the demand of sex work. Legalizing it would help towards the implementation of regulations regarding their work, eventually decreasing the rise in STIs in the general population and decrease violence towards the workers. Thank you.